Photoshop is the world's best imaging and graphic design software that you can get your hands on today. It covers everything from photo editing to compositing, digital painting, animation and graphic design, and now you can harness the power of Photoshop for free. To get started, click the link in the description below. This will take you to the Adobe page. Head over to Creativity and Design. Under the Featured Product section, select Photoshop. Next to your Blue Buy Now button, select Free Trial. Adobe will then give you 3 choices. If you want to try programs like Premiere Pro, Illustrator and Adobe Audition, click the link in the description below. Then select this option otherwise. The best option for you will be the photography plan. Select your choice and click Start Free Trial. Once your file is done downloading, start the setup and wait for it to finish. When Photoshop is finished installing on your computer, simply run the program. Another incredible feature in Photoshop 2023 is the integrated Substance Photoshop plug-in. Let me show you how it works. Go into Window and select Materials. This will open up the Substance Materials plugin. You can think of these materials as Photoshop patterns, but with controls for limitless variations. All you need to do is select a material from the list, whichever one you like. When you click on it, Photoshop will add it to the Layers panel. You can see that here, and you will see the material properties there. You can scroll down and adjust the resolution. Draft will give you a very low resolution material, but Ultra will give you a high resolution material. Obviously, the Ultra will take more resources from your computer, so select the appropriate resolution for your machine. For the tutorial, we'll leave it at medium. Then you can adjust the sliders to change the look of the materials and notice all the control that these materials give you. In Photoshop 2023, you can use AI to generate custom backgrounds for your photograph. Go into Filter and select Neural Filters. From here, click on Backdrop Creator. Then you can input a prompt or start by using one of the popular presets. Click on Create. I'll close the window for now, and I can click to load these images onto my composite. You can also type in your own prompt. Adding HD photographs sometimes helps you generate higher quality images. Then click on Create. Photoshop will then generate 3 new images based on your prompt. I like this one here, so I select it, and I would like to see more like that one. So I can click on this icon to load more images that look like this image. If there's another one that I like, I can click on it to select it. Then I can go into a new layer group and press OK. And Photoshop will generate all those images as layers, and you can use them in any project that you want. The Object Selection tool in Photoshop 2023 not only has a better algorithm to detect objects in your scene, it also has a different color overlay. It's now pink. It used to be blue. You can change the color from the drop-down menu. But one of the best new things about this tool in this new release of Photoshop is that you can click on your main subject to select it, and then press Shift and Backspace to automatically remove the main subject and use Content-Aware Fill to fill the hole. By the way, if you're in a different selection tool and use that same keyword shortcut, Shift and Backspace, Photoshop will instead bring in the Fill dialog box. If you want to use that same feature with a different selection tool, all you need to do is right-click on the selection and choose Delete and Fill Selection. Another incredible filter in Photoshop 2023 can be found under Filter and Neural Filters. From the list, go all the way to the bottom and make sure that you enable the Photo Restoration Beta filter. This filter attempts to restore photos with just a few clicks. Here is the before and after. We can get even a better result by increasing the scratch reduction. Also, under Adjustments, you have different options that you can use. For example, Noise Reduction and JPEG Artifact Reduction. The best thing about this filter is that you can combine it with other filters. For example, you can also enable the Colorize filter to automatically colorize this image using artificial intelligence. This is totally customizable. You can click on the shirt to change the color. For example, we can make it blue. And just by clicking on any other area, you duplicate the same color that you have active, in this case blue. So I'll make sure that his shirt is entirely blue. Then I can click on the background. I can make that gray, and continue painting the background gray just by clicking on it. When you're done, output to a new layer and press OK. Photoshop has now generated a new layer
with the adjustments we made in the filter.
In Photoshop Beta 2023, you have access to the new Live Gradient tool. You can click and drag to create a gradient, and you can edit it using the on-screen overlays. When you hover over the line,
You'll see the cursor with the plus icon.
When you click, you will add a new color stop. You can double-click on that color stop to change the color if you wish.
Even though the options bar
Still gives you access to the previous controls.
The properties panel now has those controls.
You can select a preset.
Select the style of the gradient
and adjust the opacity. For example, we can turn this into a sun flare.
You can make the center swatch white and the outer swatch orange. Like so, press OK.
And then from the opacity controls,
Notice when we select one of the swatches,
it lights up the corresponding swatch.
In the property panel, we want to make this one transparent.
So that's the one on the right.
We can go into the opacity controls here.
Click on the far right one
and bring the opacity down to 0. And adjust the location and center point and drag the orange swatch to the left to add more color to the sun flare. Then you can click and drag it and place it into position. And of course, you can use blending modes to blend it better with your photo. Another way we can use these is with masks. So let's grab this image. And I'm just dragging into the tab of the second image to combine them. Control T or Command T for free transform. And let's just quickly scale this. So we want to create a smooth blend between the two layers. So what we're gonna do is create a layer mask. Choose the gradient. Grab a black to white gradient. Make sure it's linear. And now we can just drag across the image. As we do this, we get this beautiful blend.
And a nice thing about this,
the previous one,
you had to release it to see how it would look. On this one, we can just drag it until we're happy with the result. And of course, we can change the stop point as well. We can also change the midpoint, so it blends a little bit better. And of course, any time in the future, we can select that mask. Grab the gradient tool and it's still fully editable. Another feature we're gonna look at is the adjustment presets. If you go into the adjustments, you'll see we've got this new adjustments preset. Now, you have to have an image open in order for this to be populated. If we click more, we'll see different categories. And we can actually just roll over these and see how they're gonna affect the image. And at any time, we can apply them by simply clicking. So what it does is it creates adjustment layers, which of course you can select at any time and look into Properties panel. And you can change any of these settings. The next feature I want to talk about is what you want to do is create a new layer. To use it this way, it'll be non-destructive. You're gonna go down to the spot healing brush and we're gonna grab the remove tool. And then what we're gonna do here is turn on sample all layers. Otherwise nothing will work on that blank layer. And then we simply just paint over the area we want to remove. Find a go under Window to Contextual Taskbar. And you might have seen this little taskbar floating around. So this toolbar will enable you to do things like select the subject. Then once that selection's active, you can do things like fill it with different things. You can apply adjustments. You can transform the selection. You can inverse the selection. You can go into select a mask, and there's different things you can do with that. Another area works is if you apply some text. It's gonna pop up. You can choose the text you want directly from in here. Of course, you can click on here. And this will give you all the full adjustments. But let me give you the biggest tip of this course. Sometimes it just pops up in the middle of your image, and it can be really annoying. So what we can do is, we can click on the three-dot menu. Choose pin bar position. Now when I put this say at the bottom, doesn't matter what I do. Notice that stays where it was. And notice the toolbar doesn't jump around anymore, which can actually be really useful when it doesn't bounce around if you pin it down.